Welcome back.
Basic Beneful Witches back again with a new interview.
You guys came back for another week of fun.
Exactly. I love it. We haven't lost it yet. Never. No. But this season is exactly. I speak for myself and many others that already say that the season is like incredible and we can just like not stop, never stopping or whatever with the amazing people. So yeah.
Literally. Speaking of people, we have the most amazing woman ever today. Her name is Gisele from Cosmic Laundry. I said that right?
Yeah, you did. Yes. It cut out though. The Cosmic Laundry. It's like cut out on my end. So, anyways, the Cosmic Laundry, Gisele.
Yes. Welcome. So,
hi everyone.
It's amazing. Her and I got to meet about I want to say about 4 years ago, maybe less.
It might have even been more than that, like 5.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So the place that I work at, we would do these monthly staff, just team building exercises. And I was able to connect with Gisele to do this yoga, meditation, and Reiki session for the staff. And Gisele led us through this beautiful yin yoga, but also like a meditation that connected with your inner child. Needless to say, I cried. Everybody else cried, and it was amazing. And that's when I officially was just like, "Yep, #1 fan over here."
I loved that.
That's so good.
It was such a fun event.
Yeah, it sounds like a blast.
Yeah, it was good.
That's the thing, man. Go ahead, Brittany. Sorry, I interrupted you.
I was just gonna say, like, so we want to just jump right in. Like, Gisele, what would define like your craft right now? Like tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm a manifesting generator. Do you guys know your human design?
Is that like another thing?
No, it's like a new type of astrology. So maybe like we'll go into that and I'll explain it.
Yes,
but there's 5 different energy types in this system. Yes. And I have one of the energy types. It's kind of like a hybrid where we always have a lot of different things kind of on the go. So even Brittany, when you reached out, I thought that I had done astrology and meditation. No, hey, that was when I was like,
it was before
still a therapist. Doing events, yoga events, all of that kind of stuff. So that's really, really funny. Right now, my whole thing is really like empowerment. So whether that's through astrology or human design or coaching, I love love. I'm a very like Venusian being. So I do a lot of like relationship coaching and dating coaching as well too. But all of it kind of comes under blending and landing how to just be yourself essentially with like the modern practical world. Like how do we use these tools in a really empowering way?
Awesome. I love that.
Awesome.
That's freaking awesome.
That's really like so important right now. I think, well, I mean, I feel like every episode you can get a clip of me saying, I feel like right now everybody's going through an awakening, but also it's like,
it's true though.
With it, right? But it's so true. It's like, it's like word vomit every time. And it's like, it's this the truth. It needs to be said. But no, it's like people are getting to know themselves in a whole new way, whether it's the spiritual awakening or if it's just like learning to treat ourselves better or just be kinder to ourselves. It starts here. I mean, that's a huge part of that. So finding an encouraging person to do it with sounds amazing. That is so cool.
I love that you are doing that too, because you are a person that just like love and kindness just like come at you. Like I remember the first time I connected with, even just through messaging, this is like years ago, and I was like, this girl, something about her, you just like were instantly like, I need to get more, I need to see her. And then after I got to meet you in person, I was like, I want more of her in my life. And then of course my life's like gone, and here we go.
It's funny how that happens. It like always comes back around. But thank you, that's an amazing compliment, especially because that's something I teach so much about, like just your quality of being can be so empowering and so important. It doesn't have to necessarily be about like what you're doing. So Thank you for that. I love
Oh,
that. And I love that we're like reconnecting again,
yeah,
No.
I love that too. So
Full
much.
circle. It always
Full
is, right?
circle.
People come into your life and, at certain points is, again, I'm like preaching to the choir, but I mean, it's like, yes, it's just that time of the season is back where it's, time to reintegrate.
Well,
So
Liz and I talk about like soul family, and you never know who your soul family is going to be, but I would
yeah,
consider you someone
Oh, I
that
love
wants my
that.
soul family to be like, yeah, I can definitely draw on Gisele to be able to connect with me, to help me grow, obviously, with
Yeah.
and
yeah,
loving myself and others. I love
I
it
love
so
that.
much.
I feel like we
yeah,
have a really cool community in Saskatoon of like really amazing women doing really amazing work too. I always feel
yes,
really blessed coming back home and
yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
on that note of home, so yeah, where are
Yeah.
you from originally, and what I guess started all of this for you? If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm from a tiny, tiny little like hamlet in Saskatchewan, like that nobody ever knows
what's the question?
what it's St. Front. It's close to Nacum
Okay.
Walk, like there.
Watson.
Oh yeah, okay. I think I remember we talked about that a few
Yeah.
weeks ago. That's so funny. So yeah, I'm from St. Front, right? And then I went to school in Rose Valley and
Nice.
Archwell, and I ended up graduating in Tisdale. But yeah, so I grew up on a farm, like, your classic like farm experience as a child in Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Saskatoon for my undergrad studies, and then I was there for a long time. And I'm actually moving back now. So I've been in Alberta and in Hawaii, kind of all over. I've decided to move back to Saskatoon because I miss my people, But yeah, so I'm a farm kid from Saskatchewan, and it's funny thinking about the work that I do now, because as a kid, and like I'm sure you guys know, being from Watson, like this was not ever what I anticipated I'd be doing with my life. This is not probably what my parents anticipated I'd be doing with my life, It's, kind of wild to think of how this is what happened, because it was never the plan. But I went through a bit of a spiritual awakening in 2016, 2017. And that was when I started studying astrology and human design, and just like the metaphysical in general. And I just discovered really quickly how much I love it. And astrology, especially human design, has been a bit more work for me, but astrology is a second language. Like learning it was so easy. It just like kind of came into my consciousness, and it was there. Like I didn't have to do that much with it. And it was really clear really quickly that this was what I was meant to be doing. So then I pivoted from kind of the therapy world into astrology. And that took some time, because I, didn't really want to let go of all of the things that I had built, but yeah, so that's kind of like the very shortened version of how I ended up doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
No, that's really neat. So like, yeah, you're right. Like simple beginnings. I can imagine that it's been a shock to the system because you've been spending quite a bit of time in Hawaii recently, right? Like, is that like a second home to you, or was it just like for that period of time, or?
Yeah. No, Hawaii has been a second home for me since 2017. So being there was kind of part of me getting into all of this stuff, and really like more so just learning a lot more about who I am and who I want to be, and all of those different things. So I've been going back for a few years. I have a pretty big community there. Like some of the people I love the most on the planet live there. So it's always nice to go back and visit everyone. Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah, that's really
When it
nice.
comes to discovering astrology, I guess, could you kind of explain to us and our audience what you use with astrology? Like, how do you create like a session or is that more so like
yes,
your astrology knowledge to create or to find out someone's human design, or like how does this all play?
Oh, yes. Okay, so I love this. So human design, I use both. There's a lot of people who prefer astrology or human design. It's becoming a bit more common to use both, but human design uses your birth info, your birth time, all of that as well, the same as astrology. And it's a software system. So you plug it in and it pulls from astrology. It pulls from where the planets were at the time that were born, but it also brings in some other elements like the chakra system and the I Ching and the Kabbalah tree of life and all of those different things. So it's its own separate system. I really do think it's like astrology for like the new paradigm in a sense of like it's a lot more practical, and it's really about how your energy works more so than, you know, in your natal chart, in your birth chart, you can see your mom and your dad and your spouse and life events, and you know, it's really the map. But your body graph, which is human design, is like you and your aura and your energy.
Okay, I definitely have done that human design. A girlfriend of mine had like sent me a link, she did it, and anyways, I did it as well, and I'm like reading through it, I'm like, oh my god, to a T. I don't know any of like the specific words, but it was like I'm not like a blender, but like I'm obviously like I can be a really good people person, but on the other side of me, like I really value my alone time and like my quiet time.
Oh, you're a 2-4 profile.
Yes, 2-4, exactly. That's just like, I know it was like two, it was like 2 halves. It was like, yeah, I can be like outgoing, but also like, okay, bye, I'm done.
Yes.
I was like, yes. It's so hard for me to be like, I'm a little bit of everything. I've got many hats in many different ways, and that is one of them as well. But yeah, I was reading through it, I'm like, this is so me. It was so amazing to read that, right? From just plugging in some information.
Fascinating.
So
what you're saying is I need to book in with Gisele to get my own.
Yes. Honestly,
we should definitely do your HD.
Honestly, you definitely should. And anybody listening, I think it's really important information. If anything, just to like
all of the stuff at the end, I promise.
Yeah, oh, surely. We'll make sure that everything's linked in our show notes as well, to like make sure that people book with you. And it is so enlightening and kind of like a confirming.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
just
the
like
real benefit.
Yeah. It's like it's almost like, you know, those like DNA things that you send away for to determine. It's like it's literally just this is you literally in a chart. Right.
Yes.
So different.
Yeah. And then you have permission to be yourself, right?
Yeah.
You're like,
exactly.
oh, okay. Like it's okay for me to be the way that I am, and I don't have to change anything, or I don't have to keep going on this path of like where I'm being conditioned. I can really just be who I am, and that can be enough.
Yeah.
And I think that's the real benefit of it.
Yes, exactly. It's like, it makes things make sense as well. So that's so good.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So do you, I guess since we're on the topic of those, what would you say to get people to do it outside of like unlocking the keys? But like, is there anything else that not necessarily comes with it, but I'm trying to think of like the word. It's like, what else does it unlock? You know what I mean?
Oh, yes. Like when you're looking at your human design and astrology, like what can you find in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find like literally everything. And it's something that understanding. So I really love astrology. I think that astrology is kind of, I don't want to say it's going to like die out, but it's going to become a very niche thing. And I do think human design is going to take over because it has a very, very, very practical element to it. And the thing with human design is you can get everything, like how you're meant to be eating and like digesting food, what type of environment is best for you, whether you need a routine or you don't need a routine. Like you can unlock all of these things. I really think of like human design especially allows you to, it's like your operation manual. So it's like you are this vehicle, your body is this vehicle, and your energy is this vehicle, and it's your manual for how to take care of it properly so you can be at your peak performance, you know?
Well, that's great.
You never know when you need a tune-up, or if you're just like, something's not working.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or like the urge to like fight against traits that seem to, you know, that we're not necessarily not proud of, but you know what I mean? Like accepting the traits that come with us because it's us.
Yes. And I think too, it's been really interesting for me with my therapy background because it's challenged some of what I was taught in school and in my training as a therapist, in terms of how we perceive certain things. And now, knowing how we're all so different and we're all so unique and we're meant to show up in different ways, I can see these traits in people without pathologizing it. And instead of it being like, oh, you do this thing because you have low self-worth or you have daddy issues or all of these things, it's like, no, you just carry this energy in your chart. So like, here's how we lean into the high road of it. And it takes some of the like, you can still process and work through some of the pain points with astrology and human design, but it doesn't end there. And that's what I really love about human design and astrology. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Honestly.
Yeah.
So in your day to day, like, do you do, like, are you still doing therapy or are you still counseling? Is that like your main? No, you're not.
No, I'm doing astrology and human design full time.
That's amazing.
It's my full-time gig. Yeah. So, and I actually brought my sister into the business last year. So she co-owns it with me. So
yay, sisters.
Yeah, it's another little sister manifestation. And we're in the process of really like expand to doing a few different things and really creating a lot of like online digital offerings and the whole thing. But yeah, I'm not doing therapy anymore at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Maybe in the future. I think like maybe when Canada is ready for therapists who are integrating some of these things. Not that they're not fully ready. It's just that the people who are doing that, 'cause there's lots of therapists integrating the intuitive and the metaphysical right now.
Yes.
But I don't have the personality of being like the person at the front lines with the torch of like leading the way. That's not really, I'm like a lone wolf. I go rogue. I do my own thing. I'm like, oh, you say I can't do that? Okay, I'm just going to go do my own thing now. So maybe in like 20 years, I'll go back into therapy because I do miss it. There are parts of it that I really miss, but I get to do a lot of like space holding and empowerment work with my work already anyways. So that really like fills that need mostly.
Well, that's so good. Yeah, we've definitely put it in there. Yeah, exactly. And we've definitely encountered people in that trade that are into, the metaphysical, the more kind of thing.
Yeah.
But also that's the same pushback. It's like, but I can't do energy work or I can't advertise that I do this because like, it's like, oh my goodness. But I mean, so it's unfortunate, but you're right. Like, I think it's coming.
So separate right now.
Yeah, they have to be very separate.
It's definitely coming.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's another thing that just didn't work for me. I'm like this lone wolf rogue person, but I'm also a rule follower and I do not like to get in trouble. Even like, there's a lot of, there's some people that are like, well, whatever, this is what I'm doing and I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm the eldest daughter, right? So I have that like, I run a tight ship kind of energy. And I also just love having no rules, honestly. It's like I love kind of being able to be free and really do things my own way, But I do think like the therapy space is changing. Even if I ever were to go back into therapy, I think I would do it in Hawaii because a lot of the therapists there study astrology and use it with their clients. So the world is shifting. It's only about time. Saskatchewan's like 20 years behind everyone. So we'll give them another 20, 30
another
years.
20. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It is such a shame, but there's like, the benefits of it are like undeniable, right? In that sense.
Yes.
So I hope it catches up soon. But I think the more that we talk about it and the more, people are exposed to it and like we open up our community, it's like, it's enlightening in more than one way.
Yes.
So that's so good.
Yeah.
Right on. Oh, that's great. What else was I gonna ask? I have like I think about all my questions before and then I'm like,
they like leave in the moment, right? You're
exactly.
like in and then out.
Yeah. Exactly.
I feel that when I do podcasts, I have to have like a little like whiteboard in front of me with like talking points. Otherwise I do the same thing. I totally forget. And then I'm like, oh, we're an hour in and I haven't asked you any of the questions I originally had. So
Yeah.
I
No,
feel
totally.
you.
And like, so I knew that you guys had it's you and your sister that has a podcast, or do you just do it solo?
Oh, well, I do it solo. She is going to be coming on a lot more because I enjoy it. So I am not consistent with our podcast at all because I don't like doing it alone. I get bored. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
here I am talking about the moon today all by myself. But she's going to be coming in now and we're going to be doing a lot of episodes together. So
Yay. Oh, that's so good.
yeah. Yeah.
We've done some solo episodes in the past, like when Brittany was sick, like she was really, really sick when she was pregnant. So then I did some, and it was just like, and then she did one, and it was so, you're right, it was so
The
boring.
one that I tried to
It's
do,
a different energy.
yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
But Brittany,
different. You almost need someone. For us, we need someone to bounce.
Yeah.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, Brittany was like, Brittany, she did one and she sent it to me, and it was like 15 minutes long.
Yeah, and I was like,
And I'm like,
I couldn't
mean,
stop talking like too fast, and I'm just like, I just want to get
yeah.
this over with. I don't even care about this, and I was like,
Yeah.
Yes.
that is
And like,
so
I did a couple, and I'm like, I don't know, we'll see. Like, we'll just see where it goes. And like 40 minutes later, I was like, oh my God, I just talked to myself for 40 minutes, and I like it was
Yes.
good, but or good enough for my standards, right?
Yes.
But it was like, I'm like, oh, okay, so I guess we know who chats the most. I know this.
That's
It's
so funny.
It's just
yeah.
and I like making inside jokes to myself. So I totally, again, that's my, my 2-4 is like,
Yeah.
I thrive on my own, but also I love company. Yes. Well, I hope that's so exciting for you to have that kind of outlet with your sister. It'll be really great for you guys.
Yeah,
Good.
she's a comedian. Like she's the one, she's a comedian. Like that's her whole, her birth chart is actually so similar to Gordon Ramsay. They have like almost the same.
Really?
Yes. And she is just like so funny. So when she comes on the podcast, it's a whole different vibe. It's like a comedy show, but like I love it and it just makes it so much more enjoyable. So yeah.
Well,
That's
the
nice.
next time in the future, because we're gonna definitely have you back if you want to, but we
Yeah.
would, if you and your sister then join, and then we could just literally banter and be complete shit.
Oh, that would be so fun. She is like
Yeah.
the banter queen, that she's so good at it.
We're into
Sometimes
it.
she'll be like bantering with me and it'll like goes over my head. I'm like, what are you even talking about? What just happened? You know? So she would, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
my
Well, that's
Um,
good.
I'm definitely gonna like check in
Yes.
of your episodes, obviously that include your sister, because I'd love to hear that.
That's
Yeah,
so
she's funny.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Eventually, maybe she'll be out doing podcasts instead of me because she's just like so funny. Our whole family, when we were young, it's funny now thinking about her doing the cosmic laundry with me because we're so different. She's like ex-military, she's a paramedic, she's like, very, very different. So when she said yes to coming into the business, I was like, yes, like I got her, but when we were younger, I always thought she was going to be very like front and center stage, like acting, performing, that whole kind of thing. So yeah, so I could see her taking a bit more of like a front and center role with the cosmic laundry in the future because she's a little ham,
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Her to, like, especially because like you're the eldest. I get that because I'm also the eldest.
Yeah.
And it's funny how like you're just so used to being in charge. You're so used to like doing it. So that way when someone else takes the lead and you don't have to, you're like, oh, I love this. This is great. Nice.
It's delegation. Really nice. Honestly, I think that's flipped for us because now that she has been in the military and she has all these like skills, she is definitely the leader with us now. She tells me what to do. She bosses me around, which is like a total flip from our upbringing, but it's good. I need it. She like wrangles me in a little bit.
I feel like
that's how I could say that about Jessica too. She's she's younger than me. I'm just like, I don't fucking know. Just tell me what to do.
I'm a bit bossy. Yeah.
I'm tired of all the responsibility. Yes.
I'm like, make up your mind. I said, we're doing this. We're doing that.
Yeah, literally. She gets mad at me where I'm like, yeah, whatever you want. She's like, fucking make a decision. I was like, listen, I've made decisions our whole life.
Yes, that's literally
like, oh, you don't care where we're going.
Oh my God, I get that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, that's so funny. So I'm wondering, so yeah, obviously astrology was a really great opener for you. Did you ever feel like you had, I don't even know if you had any other, gifts per se, or other like tinglings or any other sensations that you get alongside all of this? Do you think you do as well as anybody else in your family?
Yeah. So this is the cool thing about astrology too. You can see some of this in your birth charts. You can see like lineage patterns. You can see all
Yeah.
of these different things, which is very cool. But I come from a very intuitive family, a very like creative, psychic, and intuitive family, but not the type of family where it's like, oh, we're witches and it's known that we're witches and we're like passing this wisdom on. It's just like on both sides, my mom's side and my dad's side, you know, having
Oh, it cut out. Oh no.
been kind of like, oh, she
Oh my God. I was like, why did it freeze? And like, so I have no idea. Oh my God. I mean, it's recording.
You've been
Oh,
telling us the coolest shit ever.
yeah, I
Now
know. I was like,
oh, that's okay.
I heard.
And that's the thing.
You're well witching? Like, what does that mean?
Oh, yeah. So,
For your grandpa, sorry, that does that.
yes. Yeah. And I think like, I don't know, he would be fine. My brother can do it, and I think my dad can do it, and like whatever. But it's the ability to go out with like rods and have like be able to find water.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes. Okay. I've
Yes.
seen
I
that.
didn't
Yeah.
realize that's what that called, like dowsing rods.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I realize that's also called well witching.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, it's cool, hey. So, but it was just never talked about in it's like a psychic or an intuitive way. Like if you asked everyone in my family if we are intuitive, they'd be like, no,
Yeah.
no, we're not intuitive. We work hard and you know, that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, we just work hard and that's whatever. But um it's been funny as I've been kind of healing this part of myself and being more honest about some of the gifts that I have. I'm noticing that really heal in my family, especially my immediate family. Like my mom has always been super witchy, like always been very witchy, but would have never called herself that. And
Yeah.
then now she's like a camp cook. She works up on like oil rigs and you know in mines
Yeah.
and stuff, and she calls herself like the camp witch, and she brings her tarot cards, and like it's like so cute.
I love it. Your mom sounds amazing. That's so
She's
cool.
actually so amazing. Yeah. And then my brother and my sister, I think they're both more psychically gifted than I am, but a little bit more like shut down. They're very, very, very intuitive.
Yeah.
So it's just been interesting seeing that kind of blossom and come to fruition. My sister, did you guys watch Wednesday, like the new Addams Family show on
Yes.
Netflix?
I never.
Yes.
It's on my list to watch, but I can't.
You
do it.
haven't?
Oh,
I've
it's
watched it
so good.
twice. I've definitely
Yes,
watched
me
the whole
too.
season twice. So good. Yes.
It's
Watch
so
it.
good.
Yeah.
So
It's so
Chantel, my sister likes to tell people that I'm a dove and she's a raven. And that's like very much,
yeah.
you know how they cover those? Because
Yes.
my gifts are very light. They're very like they're not there's nothing too dark. I feel very like divinely protected. I like walk around the world in a very like naive way. Like I kind of feel
Yeah.
like I'm in this like protection bubble, you know, and
Yeah.
my gifts are like yeah, just more in that way where she is really connected to all realms and all things and all of that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So it's different experiences.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, Brittany, you gotta watch
Yeah.
that. Everybody listening, watch it. It's so good.
It's so
It's like-
good. They did
it's
a
like-
great job.
They did do a great job, and it's not too like kiddish. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not like
hmm
like yes,
Well,
it's
I
based
love
in junior high.
Ricky's in there, and I've been needing to watch it, but
Yeah.
I can't sit down long enough to be able to pay attention
I'm the
without
same.
being interrupted by a little boy.
I
A
getcha.
little
Runs
man,
my life.
totally, exactly. There will be time when you can watch
On
it. I
my
promise
list.
you.
It's very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. We had said in an episode, I don't know if it's out yet, but about family traditions and stuff like that being more than just traditions, and like
Yeah.
things that we were just do and like being actually like a spell or doing like leaning into
Wow,
that
yes.
intuitiveness. So it is so like absolutely that well finding. I wouldn't even thought of
Yeah.
that, but yeah, it's exactly it. It's like you're channeling that and putting that in there.
Mhm.
You are being used to find water. That is a spell, right? So or that is like a
Yeah.
form of magic. So yeah, so I think that's really neat that something like that is so like second nature to your family, but not recognized as
Yeah.
that because of the you know,
Yes.
but it's not that.
Yeah, and I think it's the thing too, where sometimes I'll hear stories about my grandparents and uncles and aunts, and I'm like, oh, they were using their gifts in that. Like they think that it was just luck, or it was just like a special skill they developed. Like I'm like, no, that is like a very, very divine gift that they have. But
Yes.
I don't think very many people in my family would recognize that in themselves, which
Yeah.
is just, yeah.
Too bad that they couldn't see it that way that
Yeah.
you see it now.
Yeah, I think
exactly.
it's starting to shift for sure. But I also think too, because there's also a lot of mental health in my family, right? Which is very common with families that
So
are highly
common.
intuitive and psychic.
Yeah.
It's like that line is
enough.
so thin. A lot of that has been that fear of like, I can't tell everyone else what's happening or what I'm experiencing because like, is this really happening? Those kinds of things. But yeah, it's been really cool, especially watching like my mom and her kind of healing, coming into alignment of her gifts. It's been very, very cool.
So awesome.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
You had said when we first started the podcast here about, I want to say master manifester or something. Tell me more.
Yeah. And
when I was talking about manifesting generator, was that
yes, that's it. I was like,
yes.
What's this?
Is that
okay.
Human design or like
yes.
From that?
That's part of human design. So in human design, there's 5 different energy types. There's generators, manifestors, manifesting generators, projectors, and reflectors. And most of the population are generators and manifesting generators. I feel like I would love to know what your guys's are. It would be really, really interesting.
I'm like trying to look right now. I was like, where did my report go?
So if you go to myhumandesign.com and input your birth info, it'll tell you. You guys can look that up. Well, I'll explain what the 5 types are. So projectors, myhumandesign.com.
Yeah, I've definitely done this. I'm like, what is it?
It's so good. Yeah, so projectors are my personal favorite type, because I think that they have a really big role to play in kind of the new paradigm shift. And they're about 20% of the population. They're really here to be guides. Like they're here to tell people what to do. They're not here to do the doing. They're here to guide, and they're here to lead. And they're also here to teach us how to do things in a more cooperative or efficient way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be curious to know if one of you is a projector.
I'm gonna find out. Right. Put in my stuff.
It's being really slow.
So I am.
Yeah. Okay. I thought you might be.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah. So projectors have this aura of just, when you guys are in your high road, this aura of like calm and everything's okay and everything's going to be fine. But you also have this tendency, if no one's listening to you, like if you're giving advice, you can get bitter, a little bit like, why the fuck is nobody listening to me? Like I have some advice, and if you don't want it, then that's fine. So it could be a little bit irritating, but you guys are about 20% of the population, and you're here to really guide.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry, I missed it. You're a generator?
I'm a projector.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a projector too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I'm like,
how do you guys have the energy to do this? Because projectors often are like, if there aren't other generators around, you guys, that might be why you bring guests on, because if there aren't other generators around, sometimes it can be like the energy can be a bit slower, because when projectors are around, there's not a lot of sacral energy in the space unless you've been out and you've kind of gathered it and then, kind of brought it back, because projectors are not here to do the doing. You guys are here to tell other people how to do the doing. So you burn out pretty quickly.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We get really tired after our podcast.
That makes sense.
It's like energy spent. But I mean, part of our podcast build is like, we do a lot of research to, I guess, so going back to like how we, what not to tell people what, and like provide the information for people.
Yeah.
Like we want to make sure that people are well equipped to go into the unknown and feel comfortable and being like, okay, I just got the beginning snippet of it and I feel comfortable to like, dig into it a little bit deeper.
That's very projector. Yes. Yeah. And that like giving people what they need. is a really big part of that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you guys are about 20% of the population. And then we have manifestors, which are about 8% of the population. Those are a bit more rare, people who really have this like co-creative relationship with the divine, where the divine moves directly through them. So if a manifestor is like, I'm going to make this happen, they will make it happen. Like everything kind of moves out of the way. They're here to bring things onto the planet. And then we have reflectors. They're about 1% of the population. They're very rare, and they're literally here to show us who we're being. They reflect us back to us. They're lunar beings. They're very, very highly sensitive. And then about 70% of the population is either a generator or a manifesting generator. And we are the doers. We are here to find what we love. Because if we're doing work that we love, if we're living a life that is exciting for us, we have kind of, I don't want to say unlimited energy, but we wake up every day with a new full tank of gas.
Oh my
so
goodness.
we're the ones that are meant to be doing the things. And you'll know, like, generators have this very like happy, bubbly vibe about them if they're in the right lane. If they're not in the right lane, they're very frustrated and can be hard to be around because they're irritable.
Yeah. I'm jealous of your full tank of gas, because I'm like, I feel like it takes us like a lot, right? I'm like, oh God, like I feel like it takes me so long to like fill my cup back up. And like, because we do like some energy work and stuff, and like afterwards it's like, just can't, there's just no more. Like literally.
Yeah, that would be exhausting for you guys, I'm sure. Yeah, because you're you guys are like the foreman. You're like the behind the scenes, like this is actually what we're meant to be doing, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
that's cool. So funny.
Like what our future could look like with our podcast, or like, well, that's actually quite fun.
Yeah.
So Jessica and I'm not sure if Jessica's frozen. Hold on, I'm gonna wait for her. Oh no, she's good.
Oh no, she's there.
Okay. I'm like, am I here?
So speaking of like being the doer versus like the foreman, Jessica and I being foremans, we tried to like we tried to make our own candles a couple weeks or a month ago.
Bad.
Holy fuck,
didn't work.
It was so bad. It was so bad, and we're like, what the fuck? Like, I don't understand why we can't do this. But like at this point, we're just like, we're gonna find someone to do it for us, because
I know.
Yes, you have to. You have to.
Like, we are definitely like the idea people. We always say that. We're like, oh, we'll like brainstorm for you.
Yeah, we just can't execute. We can brainstorm the hell out of everything, but we can't.
Yes. And that's your gift, is your ability to kind of lead and guide and create efficient systems. So every good organization needs to have at least one projector, you know?
Yeah. That's so funny.
I've learned so much about myself in like the last 10 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, I love that.
Like, what? It all makes sense. Yeah. I'm like, I'd be curious to know what like our brother, there's 3 of us. Oh my goodness. There's 3 of us in our family as well. So what Matt would be, I'd be so curious, but I have no idea what his like, what his time of birth is. I have no idea. So
I don't know either.
That's so
He's
funny.
Such a fighter.
He's a fighter. He's got some fire in him.
He's so fiery. Yeah. He just, I would be very curious. I'm going to find out today.
Yeah, you should. Let me know. Send me a message.
Yeah. So cool. So when someone comes to you for a human design session, you've obviously found which one of them they are. Then what happens after that? Like, what do you?
So there's a lot of info. Like, we've actually created something called the Soul Guide. It's like a PDF booklet of all of your basic, most important information. They're like 80 pages. Each one is like specific to you. That's what I was doing all morning, because I was up at 9 a.m. for the podcast, right?
Yeah.
And so then I was like, okay, I'm going to hammer out Soul Guide. So that's actually where we recommend people start, because when I started doing readings, I would book people in, and then 10 days later, they'd be like, I don't remember anything you said, and I don't get it, because it's a lot and you're learning a new language. So we actually recommend people start with those guides so you can go back and refer to it. And then I really like working with people on a continuous basis in terms of like deconditioning and figuring out how to put things into practice, and like really using this stuff to change your life, and not just having it be something that you know about yourself but don't know how to do it, you know?
No, that's so fair. I'm just like further looking over mine, and it's like digestion, cold food. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, but like, what does that even mean? Do you know what I mean? So this is going to tell me like,
it goes
things?
so deep.
Okay.
I'm so excited. I'm definitely going to be
Yeah.
looking at you, so because
It-
I want to know everything now.
I know.
Yeah. And the thing about human design is that it's like not really about your personality or what you like or it's like meant to be an experiment. So
Yeah.
you try it out and then you see. Like I'm the
Yeah.
opposite of you. I'm hot foods.
Okay.
And when I learned human design, I was coming out of a phase of being like a raw vegan for a while. And then I did my human design and they're like, you need to eat cooked, nourishing foods. Like everything
Yeah.
you eat has to be room temperature or above. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And then I put that in practice and like my digestion changed, like the way that I approach food changed. Like I feel so much better.
Yeah.
Cold foods, you actually do better with like raw vegetables and with smoothies and things like that is actually a good fit for
Ice
you.
cream.
Yes. Yeah. Like literally where
ice
if
cream.
I have ice cream, my whole body is like, what are we doing? My sister makes fun of me all the time because I add hot water to my water, like so that it's always warm. I do not drink anything cold ever.
That's so
And it's been that
funny.
way my whole life. So it's funny thinking about that too, of like, I didn't even know when I was a kid that I had hot food digestion, but I will never drink ice cold water. Like it's wild.
That is so wild. Yeah, I'm like looking back at like the things that I'm like, oh, like I just would love of this or love of that. And I do like
And it's
crave
always
like
cold.
veggies. Like I like to put my apples in the fridge because I love a nice
and
cold.
I hate that. See, and that's where like my whole family does that. They put all the fruits in the fridge. And when I was young, I thought I didn't like fruit because it turns out I don't like cold fruit. I'll take fruit out and I'll put it in the sun for a little bit before I eat it.
Yes. That's crazy. That's so crazy. What like a
So you can get things like that are very practical. And then you can also get like your gifts, right? Your gifts are in your human design chart and in your astrology chart. And I think that that's a really magical place to begin when you're starting learning about yourself, because I think especially there's like a pipeline, right? People start doing self-development and then they get into spirituality and then they find astrology and human design. And a lot of people want to focus on like the hard parts of the chart, you know, what's difficult, what am I bad at, what am I struggling with? But I find that the journey's a lot easier when you focus first on what you're good at and you really like affirm yourself in those things, and then you can work through some of the other stuff, unless it's actively a big issue in your life, then start there. But human design has so much info in it. It's very cool.
Britt, I'm curious, what's your definition on there? It says definition. I'm like so curious.
I'm split definition.
Me too. So what does that mean? Sorry.
No, this is good. So
charts are just the same chart.
It sounds like you guys have very similar charts.
I always say copy paste between Brittany and I because I'm like, oh, it's just like we're the same.
That.
Like we do like the same things. We act the same. That's so funny. Sorry, go on.
So that's cool that you guys have similar charts. No, that's good. That's really cool that you guys have similar charts. It's also probably why you work together so well, because there's just similarities. Split definition people, you guys work better in pairs. Like that's just whatever you're doing, you work better when you're with people. The way that it works is that your energy, so whatever is in your human design chart, when you look at it, the centers that are colored in, those are parts of you that are defined. They're parts of you that you can access at any time. That's energies or frequencies that are just part of your being. Wherever it's white, that's where you take in and amplify the energy around you. And so having split definition means that there's essentially a group of defined centers over here and a group of defined centers over here, and they can't necessarily speak to each other. And so when you're around other people, those two unique parts of yourself can talk to each other. So sometimes with split definition, it can be like, oh, I don't really know what I think about this unless I'm around other people, then those things kind of connect, right? Like that's kind of, it's like a way of processing and a way of, like, I don't want to say like a perspective, but definitely like how you process information, and having other people, really solid people in your life, is really important for your processing.
Totally. Well, that makes some big sense.
Well, I found out what our brother's is.
Oh yeah.
What is it?
I just texted my mom to be like, what time was he born?
I love that.
So he is a manifesting generator.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I wondered if he was either an MG or a manifestor, because we manifesting generators are the most energetically powerful. So if you know, projectors are over here on like the sleepy scale, just like you guys are meant to live your life kind of like ancestors, like grandmothers, like wake up slowly,
Yeah.
snack a little bit throughout the
That's it.
day, like do a lot of research and connecting, but like not really in that do. The MG in the family is the one that's like up at 7. They've done all these things before everyone else is awake. They're like, go, 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 especially if they're in alignment. So those two energies, MGs and projectors, work really beautifully together because you guys help us as MGs to make sure that we're using our time wisely. Otherwise, we can be very busy getting nothing done.
It sounds like our total relationship, Britt, because like our little, I should say, he's not even little brother, he's our younger brother, but he's also going to be 30 this year. So like, that's not even like, you know,
but we still call him the baby because
he's a baby. He's always a baby. But like, he's, I could probably listen to this. Matt, you're not in alignment. If you know this, you already know this. Everything she said, it's not what you're doing. But like, we're always like, what about this? What about
you're
that?
Not a grandma.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Well,
so
MGs a lot of time, manifesting generator kids really get shut down in childhood because they're very, very powerful. These are the kids that are like running around, they're into everything. I remember when I was, you know, hearing stories about myself when I was little, like my mom would call and be like, we're on our way, we're coming for a visit. And they would like have to baby proof the entire house because I would like climb things and jump off of things. Like MG kids are busy and messy. So the way that the manifesting generator energy works is we're here to kind of pivot and adapt and teach people that we don't have to do things in the old way. So both manifesting generators and projectors have a really big, important role in the new paradigm. And MGs are here to do things really different. But if manifesting generator kids interpret or internalize that they move too fast or they make too many mistakes or they're too messy, they will like shut down a lot of their MG-ness and try to be more like on the straight and narrow and doing things calm and moving slowly and whatever. But we're not meant to move slowly.
No,
we're not. And we're meant to make a lot of mistakes and kind of maybe not mistakes, that's more the third line energy, but we are meant to do things really fast. And then if we skip a step, to go back if we need to.
Exactly. The trying again, right? Not a mistake. Trying again. Yeah.
It's a very like non-linear way of being. Like you'll know the manifesting generators in your life because you'll look at them do something and you'll be like, that's not how I would have done that, but it works. I don't know how that's working, but it works. So we're here to kind of break the rules a little bit, and that the conditioning for MGs is really, really challenging. And I see a lot of manifesting generators get reprimanded a lot in childhood for moving too fast. Slow down, pay attention to things. Why are you making so many mistakes? And so then they get in their head and they get anxious about it.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So there's a lot of MGs in the world that move very slowly, but it's just because they're trying not to make a mess or make mistakes or to stress other people out. Yeah.
Wow. And now you had mentioned that you do like dating coaching as well. So is this like a factor that you pull and like, or I guess if people are dating each other, or is this like single going out?
I love all of it.
I
love all of it. Yeah. So relationship and like that whole thing was I started studying dating psychology when I was like 14. Like it's always been something I was so interested in. And that was my main focus when I was a therapist. Like looking back, I'm like, man, I was 24 years old doing marriage counseling. Like that's a little insane when I think about it. Like, who was I to be giving marriage advice at 24? But whatever.
You know what? Whatever.
Whatever. But yes, my whole thing is that I believe that you can use your human design and your astrology to understand how the people around you work so you can accept them and just love them as they are instead of trying to change them and make them be different. So that's the way that I use it. Not in like are you compatible? Because I think if you love each other and you want to make it work, then you're compatible. We got this, but you have to be willing to let the other person be who they are.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
That's so perfect. I really love that. You have to let them be who they really are.
Exactly. You just can't change them. And that's where I think a lot of like modern relationship struggles are happening, is that we want the people that we're with to be like us, but they're not like us. We're all so unique and so different. And so I think human design takes the pressure off, and it helps you go, oh, they're not an asshole. Like, he's not doing that because he's an asshole. He's doing that because this is his design and it's how he's wired.
Yeah, exactly. They're just wired differently. Oh, that's so funny.
So cool.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh my gosh, that's like so interesting. That's
This is like
really,
Yeah, it's fun.
I know, blown mind. I'm like, I'm gonna put my kids into this. I want to
Literally.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I'm gonna sign up everybody. Do you do gift cards? Because I'm about to
Oh my gosh,
sure
yes.
everyone's-
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Oh,
And for kids, it's huge, because then you're like,
yes.
oh, I understand this little being and who they are, and you can like tailor your
Yes.
parenting towards them, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I've done a couple of his not like ruling, I guess his ruling number chart. This is back with Colin, because I never did Maria. I didn't have her at the time that I was doing it. Anyways, I should do it. But like, I looked into his and I'm like, oh, it like totally makes sense. Like, he's a
Yeah.
can't remember his ruling number actually off the top of my head, but he's very much like engineer mind. Like, he likes to see how things work. He wants to take it apart. He wants to put it together. He's got a fascination with, like, he used to, like, when he was really little, he'd take a car and like would just like watch it and like roll, you know what I mean? And he still does. Like, he's 4 now, and he's like still is the same. I'm like, perfect. We're gonna nourish it because that's what you love and that's what you like, right? So, but that's like something like this too. It's like, oh, it just helps play on their strengths and not pry on those weaknesses,
exactly.
right? So, yeah,
exactly. And not expecting your child to be like this kick-ass soccer player, like if that's not the gift that they came here to express, you know. You can also start to see, especially with human design, some of the gifts are very intuitive and spiritual and metaphysical and not like tangible, but some of them are very tangible. This person is good at money, this person is very logical, so you can see really clearly what they're good at or what people are good at.
Oh my gosh, it just opens all the things. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I just did one on my baby, because I'm just like, I'm freaking addicted.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
So he is also
the
a
rabbit hole.
projector. So
he's also a projector.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how, because like his dad, like my partner, oh my God, like he for sure is like in an alignment manifesting generate. Like, I can but that's what he is, because he's a word. He like will do everything nonstop. Like, he's literally what you had said. That's him.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, like, oh fuck, he's 2 projectors.
Yes. 2 people in the house to tell him what to do. It's perfect.
Literally.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, I just like, and already having like a Taurus, like, so like in her house, like, so little man Harrison is a Taurus, right? You're a Scorpio.
No, he's an Aries.
Oh, he's an Aries. Oh darn, I don't know why I thought he was a
Aries,
Scorpio.
Scorpio, and he's a Capricorn.
So the Capricorn is going to be like
household.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's a powerful household.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely want to know more about that, but I'm going to pay you to tell me all that. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah,
for sure.
I think family readings are so powerful, you know. Even like, it's great for groups and teams, like where I'm teaching at Wild Roses next weekend.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
That's,
are you guys
no, but we're not
Bobby.
going, but Bobby. No, Bobby Newmeyer.
She's a Soul Kiss Journey. She does aura readings, like aura photography.
Oh
yeah.
Is she gonna be there?
Yes. I think so. Yes.
Oh, fun.
Yes,
okay.
she told us about it. Yeah.
You guys so well.
Yeah. So Chantel is running. We have like a little booth that she's going to be running and selling soul guides and all of that kind of stuff. And then I'm teaching. And we have like a few of our friends coming to help us, because there's like a lot that needs to be done. So that's why I'm in an RV right now. We're in like, you know, we have a little like sweatshop set up at my friend Tanya's house. And today that's what we're doing after this, is we're sitting down and going through everyone's charts and looking at like, this is what your strengths are, and this is kind of making sure that we're putting people in the right place. So it can be really, really helpful for like managing a home or managing a team too. Like, it's deeply esoteric and metaphysical, but you can still use it in a really practical way, which I love.
That is just so freaking cool. Honestly, literally my whole, like, this made my whole fucking day. I'm just like,
oh my gosh, welcome to the rabbit hole. You're going to be obsessed now. This is how
Yeah.
that happens. It's like
maybe,
you get
maybe
in
in the
and you're
future I'll
like,
join your team also. It'd be like,
yeah, exactly.
like
Hey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love
Frick,
it.
this is so awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
literally, we could talk your ear off forever, but I feel like
I
we
love
should
it. This
start
hour went by so fast.
All of a sudden it's like, oh my
It's
God,
so
we're
fast.
there. Sometimes
like,
it's
crazy.
like, yeah.
you have
Time
a
warp.
personality that we could talk for hours with, but I'm like, oh,
Time
shit.
warp.
But that's
Yeah.
okay
Yeah.
because we'll leave us for that way. We can do this again in the future and bring your
Yeah,
sister.
that'll
And
be
bring your
fun.
sister. Exactly. We'd love
Yeah,
to
that'll
have
be
you
so
both.
fun.
Yeah. So we'll
Love it.
move into our card readings here. So yeah, of course, if you would like to, Gisele, like feel free to add
You have
whatever.
any
It's all
questions,
good.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And if
I'm
not,
gonna
that's
be
okay too.
yeah, I'm playing Jane. I'm playing. Oh my God. I'm pulling from my animal spirit. It's not tarot, it's an oracle deck, but it's like one of my favorite decks. So I'm just going to ask my guides to see what energy we're moving into. So this is going to come out on a Saturday. So like for the week ahead, what do people need to know? Let's just see here. Scorpion. Interesting. The summertime.
Magical.
Very. Okay, let's see here. Oh, hold on. Kim Kranz is the one that does this tarot deck, and I
I
all
love
her
that
stuff.
deck.
She's
Yeah.
So, I've got all of her stuff now, which even the pocket deck, which I'm like,
I love it.
stuff. So the Scorpion is passionate, competitive, tends towards isolation. The Scorpion is a passionate and determined creature. Their career is very important to them, as are a few select friends. Sometimes the Scorpion's heat festers and they focus on unresolved event from the past, usually a situation where they were left feeling burned. The Scorpion card says it's time to come clean about your feelings so everyone can heal and you can get back to your usual fiery but fun self. So when we're in balance, we're wild and free or fierce. When we're out of balance, we will be jealous, resentful, or unresolved. To bring into balance honesty and forgiveness. Cool. Love that. So take that, take it, whatever. Yeah.
I love that one.
I love that. Scorpion energy is really like Pluto energy. And when is this episode coming out?
That's the best part is we never know.
We don't know.
Oh,
no, it'll be out.
That's really cool.
I want to say like
it's literally, but then whenever we kind of have that feeling, we'll be like, yeah, this is a good week for this.
That's cool.
So like,
yeah,
don't have an idea, and that's kind of the best part. Like last season, we would typically know when it was going to come out and be like, oh, it's this week of like this week, but now we're literally kind of just experimenting with being like,
I like that. It's like an oracle.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is what they're going to need to know at that point. We've been discussing like blind reads or whichever. That's kind of like part of my enhancing my tarot reading is like doing a blind read. Like I'll still pull cards, but I'll read them face down and just like do my reading and then flip them over. And sometimes it like matches and sometimes it's like, oh, but in addition to. So, so
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I wonder, because you pulled that, I bet the week that you decide to post this will be a very like Pluto heavy week. It'll be like Pluto will be really deeply connected to the moon or to Venus or something like that. So those weeks are always like so transformative and they really like pull us into our cocoon and have us kind of go into hermit mode so we can heal and process and transform. So it's pretty magical.
Yeah. I love it. Transform is a good word.
I'm going to pull from the Wisdom of Healing Realm. I'm sorry, Hidden Realm by Colette Aaron Reed. Oh my goodness. And of course, little man's like, listen, I know. Okay, actually, this is funny considering what we were talking about earlier. But this one is the Well Watcher.
Oh, that's funny.
Wow,
that's like a ding ding ding.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's interesting.
So it's like the divine, the power of the divine wisdom. And I'm just gonna do a quick read as I hold little man because he's not going to let me.
Yeah.
Oh, cutie.
His like his mohawk of hair.
I'm in charge.
Yeah. He's the projector, so he is in charge.
Yeah.
Literally.
Projector kids are bossy and they're so cute because they're like little elders. Like they're just like, I know what you need to be doing. It's very, very cute. Yeah.
And you're also just like, but I know what I want.
But I want to know exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like my daughter's definitely a projector. She's like,
Yeah.
but she's
I
also
can't
like a
wait for you
mini me.
to look into it, Jessica.
Yeah.
Know
I
all of like
will.
what kids are.
I definitely will. Like, oh my
God, I love
goodness.
that. Okay.
Characters.
So this card signals that the need to go within to contemplate the true source of power in the world. It reminds you that, oh, sorry, hold on. This is of the divine. This is a message to let you know that you're being called to the well and that this unseen power will be there and will be yours to align with. So you'll know the way forward by the still small voice within. The divine also may answer your call by sending others to help you. So it's interesting that all can be yours at this time. If you feel like you're going nowhere, it's because you're meant to stay put. Willfulness can lead to your becoming like a bull in a china shop, creating havoc as you push forward.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Wow.
Very
Yeah,
interesting.
it's all very aligned.
Yeah.
Very much. Yeah.
Especially, yeah, with your ancestral, history with this as well. That's really neat.
Yeah.
I also like getting an interpretation of like, so like looking into the well is our gift or our future or our want for our expansion, and us just
I
like
love that.
beginning to look at it. Do you know what I mean? And like not even necessarily taking the plunge, but like taking a sip or being curious and like it's opening up to that. So that's kind of like what I saw when we were reading that. It was like very much like the curiosity has been like, what is that? So
That's really cool.
I love that.
I love
Well, Miss
this.
Gisele, this has been so good.
Right.
Do you have, this is the time where we're like, this is for you to kind of say, do you have anything coming up? Do you want anything that you want to plug? Where can people find you?
Yeah,
Tell us
what all of this, so as a manifesting generator, there's a lot. Even like Chantel is always like, I don't even know what we do in our business. Like every week she's like, you're adding a new thing in. What do we do? But the soul guides are our biggest thing. Like I think if anyone wants to start somewhere, that's a really, really good place to start. I also do year-long mentorship for anyone who wants to learn astrology. And learn some of these different things. That's a huge area of focus for me right now. I just love teaching.
Yeah.
And I also I don't know if you guys know Danica Slattery she's from Saskatoon as well. She used to co-own Thrive. But her and I have a side project called the Radiance Codes, where we blend astrology, human design, and then she's really, really well versed in, like, she's studied everything, but she brings in Kundalini and breath work and the erotic and somatic education. And so those are month-long programs that we do, and our next one is in August. So we'll be focusing on Venus energy, the lover energy, in August.
That's so cool. Oh, yeah, yes. I knew we followed you on that account, like on the Radiance Codes. Because I was like, oh yeah, they've got that coming up. That's pretty neat. But yeah, I did that, but that's really cool. That's really interesting.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, that's where a lot of because I just love teaching on the feminine and teaching on archetype and all of these different things. So that's where that other side of me really gets to come out is through the Radiance Codes. But as far as astrology and human design, definitely our soul guide is the best place to start.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Well, you people heard it here first. Check them out on Instagram. And you can also find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Basic Banter for Witches. Or you can email us all your fun facts, basicbanterforwitches@gmail.com. So, yeah. So, Gisele, sorry, buddy.
I was just going to say, where can they find Gisele?
Yeah. Did you say? You said that in there. Yeah. Go ahead.
So we're on Instagram and TikTok primarily. We have other accounts, but we're not that active on them. And yesterday I downloaded Threads, and I know that I'm going to be all over that too. So those are the primary places to find us. And then, of course, our website and our email is another place where you can contact us.
Awesome. And all of which will be in our show notes. So that's fantastic. Well, Gisele, don't go anywhere because we want to just chat with you a little bit after we stop the recording here. But everybody else, you have a wonderful rest of your weekend and enjoy the week ahead. And we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.